Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. Today we're going old school. Look at this. This is, I think, 1962. This is Justice League of America number 10. 12 cents. DC Comics, obviously. Look at this. Look at this great cover. This is by Murphy Anderson. Um, what can I say about Murphy Anderson? I always just thought he was just like a great classic artist. You know, he could draw superheroes, westerns, war comics. He could do it all. You know, I have a lot of respect for Murphy Anderson. I first discovered Murphy Anderson. I think he was doing like a JSA thing. I might have bad memories about that. But anyway, I really enjoy. I really enjoy Murphy Anderson. So here we got a really bizarre cover. This cover's been like spoofed and referenced a few times. Just look at this, kind of freaky. Justice League on the fingertips. Who's this? This is Felix Faust. This is his first appearance. So Felix Faust is a magician, sorcerer, evil magician. First appearance, casting spells on the Justice League. So I'm going to be very careful with this. I'm sure everybody can understand. And let's draw any person in 1 minute. That's pretty cool. Takes images and projects them down on a piece of paper, then you trace it. That's pretty cool. All right, let's look at the indicia before I continue on. Number 10, March 1962. Did I say that? Did I say the right year? It was easy to say because it was written on the cover. All right, so let's look at Justice League of America number 10. What's wrong with my mouth? The Fantastic Fingers of Felix Faust. There's a mouthful. And they always do the roll call. I love that. Flash, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, John Johns, Aquaman, Green Lantern, Green Arrow. All right, and Snapper Carr. And then I love this. This periodical may not be sold except by authorized dealers and is sold subject to the conditions that it shall not be sold or distributed with any part of the cover markings removed, nor in a mutilated condition or affixed to or a part of any advertising, literature, pictorial. What does that mean? Okay, back then in the newsstands, they had a time. I think like the comics would sit on the newsstands for like 3 months, and at the end of the 3 months, what they did was you'd rip the cover off them or cut part of the cover off, something like that, and then you'd send the covers back and you get credit. But you're supposed to throw away the rest of it. So a lot of guys, they called them nickel comics, and a lot of comics they just sold them for a nickel and they had no covers on them. So you see a lot of coverless comics from this period in circulation. I cannot deal with coverless comics. But I guess that was for kids who didn't care. They just wanted to read. You know, I don't know. Was collecting comics a thing in 1962? Or are they just disposable, disposable couple of minutes of fun? I don't know. I'll have to ask older timers than myself. So anyway, we got this craziness going on over here. You know, just a little representation of the story. And we will open it up. And again, I'm being very ginger with the pages. I'm sure everybody can understand. So, Felix Faust is summoning these 3 demons, and this is also their first appearance. So, this guy's appearing from the ice, this guy's appearing from the desert, this guy's appearing from the sea. And, here we got this magical pentagram, and and here he is, Abagadzer, Rast, and Gast. I don't know what it was, but I'm still looking for an issue. But I remember I had like a Batman comic. I think it was one of those dollar-sized comics. I got it at a 7-Eleven. We were driving someplace. And I remember reading in the back with the flashlight because my father wouldn't turn on the interior light of the car. And it had Abagadzer, Rast, and Gast. And I was kind of fascinated by them. I also think there was Deadman. So I don't know. I got to find this comic. I've been looking for it, my whole life, and I can't find it. So I've always been fascinated with these 3 characters. Here's a better picture of them. These 3 DC demons. I know. So now that I got their first appearance, it was just a happy accident. I'm kind of collecting the Justice League. I have every issue from 5 up. So and now I'm reading them in order. There you go. And one of my childhood friends has Justice League number 1. Oh, I want to go get it from. And he let me borrow it a few times. I didn't know what it was. I was just a stupid kid at the time. So Felix Faust is summoning these 3 demons. And these 3 demons are saying when they get their 3 magical artifacts, they can take over the world, and he'll be their viceroy. So we got this bell, wheel, and a jug. Okay? And we got to go get them. So if you'll go get them for me, then untold riches, typical demon nonsense. Oh, who drew this? Oh, notice there was no credits. Okay, so let's backtrack a bit. I had to do a little bit of research. I had to look this up. So what we have now is the writer is Gardner Fox. The penciler is Mike Sekowsky. Inker is Bernard Sachs, and the editor is Julia Schwartz. This is just like insanity, this comic. There is so much going on. Again, compare the story and everything that's going on in this to a modern day comic. Yes, this is a little more childish, but you're getting your money's worth. Look at how much is going on. Look at all the art. Look at all the writing. You know, so much is happening. Unbelievable amounts of story. But let's go on. Otherwise, I'll be here all day. So they're explaining to him what you must do, and Felix like, yes, yeah. How can I do this? So now he's talking about his art. So this is the first appearance of Felix Faust. It's the first appearance of those three demons. You know, so a lot of character building has been. So we're learning about him. He found these scrolls. He did some archaeology, and through these scrolls, he learned to master to summon demons and spellcraft. You know, what else do you want me to say? And now he's bargaining with the demons, and he's gonna, you know, learn how to. He's casting spells to manipulate. They're teaching him spells, and what's he doing? He's gonna get the Justice League. He's going to manipulate the Justice League, trick the Justice League into getting the artifacts for him. So now, with the aid of the demons and the knowledge that he possesses, he's got the images of the Justice League on his fingers. So as he's like, you know, wiggling his fingers, he's controlling the Justice League. Pretty evil, you know, going on. And the Spirit's like, when we come back, we better have our artifacts. And then, you know, we got these ads for other comics. And look at that. So here's the Justice League over here. Another ad. Oh my God, blonde Superman. What are we going to do with blonde Superman? Nobody, it's crazy. And then we got Superman. These people, they're robots. It's robot just, you know, this is, Silver Age DC, I just never really liked. And this is just like, science says you're wrong to believe that. So this is just like a little page of education. And why do they do this stuff? To keep like people off their backs. You see, there's some educational, nutritional value in a comic book, for lack of a better term. So this is chapter 2. So what's going on? The Justice League are already battling the Lord of Time, another villain that it's his first appearance. A lot of first appearances in this. So the Lord of Time is like a Kang the Conqueror type of guy. He, you know, time traveling conquest guy. And here we have Batman and the Flash are dealing with the Lord of Time. And now all of a sudden they are being manipulated by, they're feeling the pull of Felix Faust's sorcery. So Batman's climbing, he's vibrating over here, and what's going on? They're getting messed up. So now they're being sent to the desert. Because remember, one of the demons came out of the desert, one of the demons came out of the sea, and one of the demons came out of like a volcano. So they go to the desert. And, you know, these, like, they're being transported through time and everything like that. So now, so they're disappearing. I'm getting ahead of myself. So now we got Superman, Wonder Woman, and John Johns. I love the team breakup. You know, Batman and Flash. You know, Batman and Flash are powerful. Don't get me wrong, but then we got the second team. They're the three most powerful beings on the earth. You know, Batman and Flash is one team, and then Superman, Wonder Woman, and John Johns is another team. It's just, come on. So the Lord of Time sent them through time. They're taking care of the troops. They're fighting everything. And here they're like fighting like these Mongolian hordes, when all of a sudden they get pulled by the pull of Felix Faust. You know, and look at that. Green Lantern's by himself. Green Lantern's by himself, you know. Oh, actually he's not. I forget. So Green Lantern's dealing with like these Greek warriors, Krakens, and craziness. I forgot. He had Aquaman. So Aquaman is helping Green Lantern. So we got one team is Batman and the Flash, one team is Superman, Wonder Woman, John Jones, and another team is a Green Lantern and Aquaman. And he's using a turtle, poor turtle, you know. And Green Arrow and Snapper Carr. I forgot about Green Arrow and Snapper Carr. He's driving the Arrow boat. Snapper Carr is just sitting there in the seatbelt. Who is Snapper Carr? Snapper Carr is basically the equivalent of Rick Jones. And Rick Jones, for those of you who don't know, is like the most important member of the Marvel universe that nobody knows about, because he's not in any of the movies and they kind of forgot about him. But he was like a Forrest Gump kind of guy. He was like an instigator. He caused like the Hulk to happen, and then he caused the Avengers to happen, and then he was like every superhero sidekick. And Snapper Carr is the same thing, but for DC. He caused the Justice League to be formed. So he's the honorary member of the Justice League, and then he's forgotten about. So Felix Faust is watching them, and he transports them all. So they're in the midst of fighting the Lord of Time, and now they're pulled out of their battle to you know, magical slaves to Felix Faust. And now he's going to send them off into teams to gather these magical artifacts. And keep in mind, this was like a thing for the Justice League. They like something would happen, and then they would break off into teams and have like little separate adventures in the comics. This is just I don't know, the way it was back then. I always like to look at see if I recognize it. See, Roy Thomas. Yes, that's the Roy Thomas. Okay. Roy Thomas, for those of you who don't know, he became a writer for Marvel and DC, but first he got hired by Stan Lee, and he ended up becoming editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics. So here they're all going about their business. So Superman's using his powers. They get the jug. One of the demons wants the jug. The rest of them are redundant when you got Superman, right? So Superman, Wonder Woman, they're all Green Lantern, Green Arrow. They're all going after these mystic artifacts. They got to get the mystic artifacts. It's just, I don't know. It's just crazy. Look at all this nonsense that's going on. They're all doing, this demon's coming out with fire because that's John Johns' weakness. This demon is like making it so that the Flash can't contact or anything, so he can't use his legs to propel himself, but so he uses his arms. He propelled the water to put out the fire. They're using teamwork over here. Meanwhile, Batman is whirling something around to keep this. It's like an air elemental spinning around like a vortex on him. And what's he do? He takes his batarang and spins it around even faster, so it takes off like a propeller. And then Green Lantern rather grabs it. So now Aquaman's in his element. There's like a lightning creature under the water. So what does he do? He calls electric eels out that can deal with the lightning creature, and he grabs the wheel. So they get all the artifacts. Da-da-da. There's a landslide. Every superhero is getting a chance to utilize their powers the best. Snapper cars under the water because Green Lantern is putting him into a sphere. Okay, so now Felix Faust has got the artifacts. He's gonna summon the demons, and what happens? Aquaman summons fish, and the fish slap into his face. You got fish slapped in his face. They were just pretending to be they were pretending to be in his thrall just to see what his plan was, who he was, and what's going on. So now they're going to take the artifacts and put them back. And he's like, you tricked me, you sly dogs, you tricked me. But in 100 years, when these demons rise naturally, because he used a spell to pull them before they were ready. He goes, but in 100 years, they're not going to need a spell. They'll be all powerful, and I'll use my magic to be alive and become the viceroy of all creation. Metal Men. I've always liked the Metal Men. Look at this, toy soldiers, prizes, and what I always forget. Oh, this is the seeds. This is the seed catalogs. So there you go. Note that they didn't go back and defeat the Lord of Time. they never truly defeated him. I didn't read issue 11 yet. Maybe they go back and finish the battle with the Lord of Time next issue. But as of this comic, they got pulled away from fighting the Lord of Time to deal with Felix Faust's nonsense, and they never resolved it. So there you go. That's Justice League number 10. I'm not a big fan. It's charming. I like it for what it is. But this period of DC, I'm sorry to say, I'm not a big fan of it. I didn't like it that much as a kid. I liked the more serious tone of Marvel. The more they took it seriously. Even in 1962 when Fantastic Four was coming out, there was some hokiness to it. But come on, the first 10 issues of the Fantastic Four blow away anything by the first 10 issues of Justice League. Fight me. I'm joking, of course. You can have your opinions. Just being silly. All right, so thanks a lot, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow with another video. Bye-bye.